Good morning, everyone. I am Vipul Kumar Annam. I am a faculty member of Professional Management Studies. I am handling the subject Managerial Economics. Today, I am going to talk about law of demand. Law of demand is one of the important topic on uh, managerial economics. So, before I'm going to start the law of demand, we people should understand the concept of demand. So, what is demand? We might be hearing this topic everywhere, but we should understand the deepest meaning of demand. So, demand means the ability and willingness to buy a specific quantity of commodity at the prevailing price in a given period of time. Therefore, demand for a commodity implies the desire to acquire it and willingness and ability to pay for it. So there are three elements should be there in the demand. The first thing is it should be a desire, and the second is the willingness, and the third one is ability to pay. So if these three elements are not there, we cannot say that it is demand. And definition of law of demand or even demand. So demand means the various quantities of goods that would be purchased at a particular price and not merely the desire of the thing. So this is the definition given. And we'll come back to the topic law of demand. So law of demand shows that there is an inverse relationship between demand and the price, or the quantity demanded and the price. So if the other things remain same, we can say that there is an inverse or opposite relationship between demand and price. If the price increases, demand will decreases, and if the price increases, then the quantity demanded will decrease. So that is what law of demand. Here we can see one example. If the price of the apple rises, fewer people will buy apples, assuming all other factors remains unchanged. So this is one example. Then we'll come back to the characteristics of demand, characteristics or features of demand. The first point is there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. So we have already seen, if you look at the demand of a product, there is an opposite relationship between quantity demanded and price. The second characteristic is utility and satisfaction. Demand exists because goods provide utility and satisfaction needs. So if these two elements are not there, there is no point in demand. Then time sensitivity. So demand is always considered for a specific time period. So if we are not measuring the demand of a particular product or a particular services on a specific time period, that is cannot be considered as demand. The next point is elasticity. So demand varies in response to changes in determinants, especially price. So it can be measured by using certain formulas that is come under elasticity of demand. Then there are two more characteristics of demand we can see. The one is substitution effect. So consumers may switch over to other products where the product price shows a declining trend, and if the price of the product increases, then people will try to reduce the consumption. That is because of the substitution effect. The last point on characteristics of demand is income effect. So the change in the purchasing power due to price changes affect demand. Suppose the income of a person increases, automatically the consumption will also increase. So that is another feature of demand. Next topic is determinants of demand or the factors affecting demand. So there are many factors which affect determinants. There are many factors which affect demand or even the quantity demanded. So some of the primary factors which we can see, the first one is the price of the goods. Price is the prominent factor. The increase in the price will reduce the demand and vice versa. So that is the first determinant of demand. Second point is the consumer income. So consumer income is also playing a very important role on measuring the demand. The price of the product, the customer's income increases, automatically they will demand more products, and if the income decreases, automatically they will reduce the consumption. So that is how the customer income is one of the important factor which affects demand. The third point is the price of related goods. So price of related goods can be substitute goods and complementary goods. So substitute goods means you can use one product instead of another product, that is known as substitute product. Examples are tea and coffee. So if you do not have coffee, then you can prefer tea. and vice versa. So that kind of products are known as substitution effect. So substitution effect, the price of one product increases, automatically there will be an increase in the demand for the other substitute products and vice versa. Then the next related good is complementary goods. So complementary goods are used together. So the examples are like bread and butter, then pen and ink, petrol and car, etc. So if the price of a complementary good increases, automatically the price of related, especially complementary goods also will increase, and vice versa. The fourth element which affects the quantity demanded is the taste and preferences. The taste and preference of the customers vary from time to time. So based on the taste and preferences, the demand will vary. So demand will affect this factor also, like the taste and preferences of the customers. Next one is expectations. So people have more expectation on new changes, the price rise, the change in fashion, the change in technology, etc. So the expectation also plays a very important role in determining the demand of the product. The sixth point is the population and demographic. So larger the population, more the consumption will be. So we cannot say that more demand for a certain product because of the product quality. We can say that it is because of the population growth. More people are trying to experiment the product. That is how population and demographics come under factors of determinants or factors or determinants of demand. The next point, seventh point, is government policies. So the government is taking care of taxes, subsidies, and other regulations. So they can also increase the demand of the product and decrease the demand of the product by enforcing certain rules. So the change in tax policy, the change in subsidiaries, the change in subsidies, the change in regulations, and through that way they can also play a very important role on demand, quantity demand. For example, if government wanted to reduce the consumption of tobacco related products, they can impose more taxes. So and throughout that, or even if you are imposing more taxes for tobacco related products, the consumption of the product can be reduced because the price will be higher. So that is how the government policy also plays a very important role on determinants of demand. Last point is season and climate features. So we know that there are certain products whose demand will be high during the season. The demand will be more during the season, because of which the price will also different. So some products are seasonal products, some products are we can available all the time. So the demand of the product will be based on certain seasons. So during the seasons of mango, you can buy mango at a very lesser rate. But in the off season, you have to pay more money so that you will be able to get the mango on that particular off season. So this is another important factor which affects quantity demanded. So that's all for this session. Thank you all. We'll see later.